Hey, it's Derek here once again from Pacific Coast Auto. This time we're looking at a 1999, a very special 1999 Subaru Impreza WRX Type RA with only 29,000 original kilometers. This thing is spectacular. I didn't even know that the world, let alone Japan, had such a special car still left in it. Now this one here, instead of being bought from the auction, what we normally do, this one was bought from a car dealer here in Japan. So of course, if you do want a car bought from a car dealer through us, you can do that as well. Okay, so an EJ20 engine, the RA being the, how can I put it? The race car version. So if you wanted to go racing one of these and you wanted to buy one new to turn into a race car, for example, your own rally car, you would buy the RA version, which is slightly lighter and has a few other things. I'll get into those in a second. First of all, EJ20 engine puts out 280 horsepower. This is a version 5 from 1999, so you got the big wing. And yes, you could actually get these as the WRX RA or the WRX STI RA or the V Limited, which is also based on the RA version. And so this one here is the STI. Has, I want to get into the details so bad, but I got to save that for the walk around because got to do these structured. Okay, so oil checks out okay, coolant checks out okay. I will say that I think that these ones have a bigger windshield washer canister because that looks oddly big to me. They also have intercooler water spray. Here's the little hose for it. It shoots into the hood duct onto your intercooler. It sucks all of the heat away from the intercooler so you can continue racing if that's what you're out to do. Has a little bottle for that right here, intercooler water spray bottle. Okay, and we have aftermarket suspension from Cusco here. Original strut tower brace. And yeah, there's peeling on the intake. Only the STI has got the red crinkle intake, and it only lasts about 8 to 10 years or so before it starts crinkling. And that's what we have right there. Looks like the car has the aftermarket suspension, the aftermarket wheels, and otherwise is completely factory. And boy does it look good. Okay, I'm going to close the hood. Before I do that, I got to show you this. These are releasable. You can undo these screws and take this cover off so that your hood vent actually works like a hood vent. From factory, they've got the covers so that you don't get too much water into the engine room, or at least that the water is directed. See, there's a little drain hole here for it, and then it, make sure it doesn't go on anything bad. Doesn't look like there's any sticker for the timing belt being done, but with only 29,000 original kilometers, I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't done. So it might be something to look into. It is a 25-year-old car now, so it is not that new. Condition-wise, looking really good. So quick look at the car before I do the once around. There it is, the GC8, very iconic looking car. And having the aftermarket wheels on there gives it a very distinct, sporty look. These wheels, the CE28, it's a very lightweight wheel. They're only about 5 kilograms per wheel for this weight, compared to the stock ones. Stock ones even smaller, stock ones being 15s or 16s for the Impreza. Probably about 20 or 30% lighter per wheel. And this is rotational mass too, and so for acceleration, deceleration, it makes a difference. Okay, so because it was bought from the dealer, we don't have an auction inspection sheet to go off of for condition, so I'm just going to do this myself. We got a little bit of fade on the fog light covers there. This bumper, being the late model version of the bumper, is a little bit more modern looking compared to the early one, including a grille that sticks out a little bit more, and the clear headlights instead of the fluted ones. These are also glass, and so you're not going to have any faded headlights with this car. Now the car has been repainted, I believe, everywhere. Evidenced by a little bit of paint wave as you come down here. We also have a few dents in this area here, so I'll focus on those. Have a quick look. Okay, you see those there? They're not that big, but once you're looking for them, they're pretty easy to find. Okay, and then up here on the edge, I don't know why these do this, but it seems to be more common on the white ones as well. The edge of this chips a little bit, but it's not from anything hitting it. It just chips for some reason. Did it to hours that we took endurance racing.
Want to see us having fun in Japan? Go check out our new channel. Link in the description.
This side as well. Now inside the trunk looking super clean, underneath looking super clean. I'm looking for some more damages. I'm not really seeing a lot. This is just a good looking car. Oh, and with that exhaust, that's gonna look good. Okay, now before we go in too much into detail, the RA, the race car version of it. So you get black door mirrors. You can see these ones have also been repainted. Black handles. I don't know why they didn't paint these, but I think it was to cut down on the price. When these were new cars from the factory, they were cheaper than the regular version of the Impreza because they have fewer things in them. Okay, so you get a hood scoop, and that's exclusive to the RA or the V limited versions. Okay, you also had wind-up windows. Okay, and you would get no AC, but it was optional, and most people were picking to get the AC in it. You got a driver's controllable center differential. This allows you to set the amount of differential lock that you have in the center differential, so you can lock it 50-50 between the front and the rear. And I think the version 5, and I could be wrong about this, had a front Torsen LSD, where normally it was an open diff in the front. You also had thinner glass for the RA, and of course the aluminum hood, but they all got that. I think there might be a few other things. Oh, shorter gear ratios in the transmission. Now, all of this knowledge comes from years of looking at these cars and thinking about these cars. Some of what I said there might be only on certain generations. It could be that these later ones, they might have dropped the thin glass or something like that. So don't count on it. The Impreza's changed very much from year to year. That's what these versions mean. Version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so each generation got slightly different, and it gets complicated. So don't use this if you're writing a research paper on the WRX. But just know that I'm trying my best here, and I don't want to misinform you. Brakes here, 4-pot, one-piece calipers on the front, and 2-pot, one-piece calipers on the rear, and they give you a nice, firmer brake pedal feel than the sliding calipers of some of the early generations. Boy, oh boy, look at that rear wing. This was a homologation car, so that rear wing should be effective. It's not a wing that you can change the angle of attack on. Honestly, you probably aren't going to gain anything from changing the angle of attack. But I will say that the Evo 5, which would have been the contemporary of this car, and the Evo 6 both have an adjustable rear wing on the back. Also the Skyline R33, and I believe the Skyline R34 did as well. Okay, so we got a good looking body, we have super low mileage, and this is going to be a little bit faster because of the shorter ratios in the transmission and the lighter weight wheels too. It's going to be a riot to drive. I am a huge fan of the GC8. I have owned 2 of them myself. Oop. Trunk. Looking super clean considering the age. We don't have any rust up here. I've seen a few of them that have had rust up there. That's fine, it is not rust, but there is sitting water there, hence why they do get rust. So good idea that, just give this a little touch-up paint. And then in here, you're going to be surprised. 25-year-old car, not a speck of rust anywhere in here. Very cool. Okay, close this off. And yep, Type RA. It is subtle. Not many people are going to know, but those who know are going to know those unpainted handles and door mirrors are going to let those people know that you've got the cool one. And those are wind-up windows. Very, very cool in my opinion. Okay, seats in here. Pretty normal. You also, I believe on some of the versions, if not most of the versions, for the RA, you got standard seats in them. At least the early ones. Gosh, Subaru made it confusing. Now, this one has these seats in it, and then an aftermarket seat here. These seats are the regular STI seats, and I think that by the version 5, just all of the RAs got that seat, but there was the non-sport seat that you can get on the early RAs, and potentially this one as well. And maybe you would option that in if that's what you wanted for a street car. But the idea was that these weren't to be sold as street cars, even though people were buying them to be used on the street. Here's your auto water spray button and your intercooler water spray manual button. So auto, I guess if it hits a certain temperature, it would shoot it. And then your driver's controllable center differential would display right here how many levels of lock. There would be completely open, 1, 2, 3 levels of lock. No, 4 levels of lock, and then a full lock on top of that. You got the turbo gauge here. That's from the factory. White face gauges on this model. Very clean and nice in here. There is a little bit of damage to the hood here. So cracks here. It isn't on the dashboard itself. This one here you could get a replacement part for. I think they're a little pricey, maybe a few $100s at this point, but still you can get that. Got a cup holder in here, just a single one. Very flimsy feeling, but at least you get a cup holder. Tape deck. Cool, man. And a turbo timer set to 10 seconds. That's to keep your engine in good condition after you're done driving it quickly. Doesn't smell like cigarettes at all. It is a true car enthusiast car, having the screws in the ashtray there. And some sort of random wiring here. I don't know what that is. We have a bit of paint fade in this section. And everything feels good. This feels nice and tight, like most Subarus don't. The carpets have barely any wear on them. It just feels incredible. Oh, look at that. This one here needs to be cleaned. Thank you, dealer, for not cleaning your mats. This is what the mat looks like when it's not used very often. That's interesting. I've never really seen the mat look like that. Most of the ones we buy look like this. So I'm learning something there. I also didn't know that these tend to color fade. We have sold a number of RAs, but I don't recall seeing those faded, but it certainly looks like the kind of plastic that has that kind of problem. Look at that. Your roof scoop. The point of the roof scoop is to let more air into the cabin when you are racing it, so it stays a little bit cooler in there. Obviously, you wouldn't be using AC in an actual race. Okay, what a clean car. This thing is amazing, and you keep it in this condition, it's going to be one of the best condition RAs, because these were the ones that were used for racing, meaning you didn't often see people keeping them in good condition, right? Not like this one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.